Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host, Candy, the amazing Flippin' Nelson. She's here with us tonight, and we are coming to you live on YouTube. So tonight we are discussing cheeseburgers in paradise. Yes, Jimmy Buffett is in the house. Come on, Jimmy, come on over here. Lying. Totally lying. Although that would be cool. So, cheeseburgers in paradise. So the reason I said this tonight was because, well, Candy and I both wanted a cheeseburger. Cheeseburgers are good. No, for real though. We were talking about how when you're sick and you're not feeling well or you just got out of the hospital, I myself know that Candy is one of the very first people I've ever met that will go up and send a care package or think of that person. And in the care packages put so much love and thought into each package when she hardly knows them, or if she does, or it just doesn't matter. It could be a stranger or someone in her family that she loves. And I just think she's amazing with the thought and the love that she puts in. Like when she's picking colors out, in the crafts that she's making, thinking of that person or what they love, whether say they love birds or whatever. I mean, putting that kind of thought and time into helping someone feel better, even if they're not sick. And that's the most amazing thing about you, Candy. And I want you to know that I admire you so much for that. And so back to what I was getting at, it kind of breaks my heart that when you go into the hospital and you're not feeling well and you have people all around you, and I know that you have friends there that just would drive right on past your home, right? You're home, you're weak, you're sick. It takes a toll on your body, big time. It takes a toll on you. And the last thing that you can think of and want to do or should have to do is get up and go make yourself some dinner.
Or
So
ask someone, can you please bring me some food?
I mean, and you and I are not people to ask for anything, and you guys, that it's okay to be stubborn and say, no, we're fine, whatever. Sometimes you got to read between the lines and just know, just use your intuition. It's important that we do that and just say, you know what, I'm gonna go make their life easy, whether they are strong, weak, whatever, lame. I'm gonna bring her a cheeseburger. Candy deserved a cheeseburger. And like I said, she goes to extreme measures.
Somebody needs to buy her a cheeseburger.
Just buy her, make the cheese. I made cheeseburgers last night. If I could have mailed it, and I loved how Candy told me earlier we spoke, and she said, "Yeah, I mean, I was in the hospital eating this horrible food. We're both just failing at the same time. It's kind of funny, but not." But she was like, "I was gonna send you a cheeseburger," So we both have cheeseburgers on the brain here. But I'm just thinking of all people in the world, Candy deserved someone to stop. Don't just drive by her house. Don't say, "Oh, she's strong. She can handle it." You guys, we are human just like everyone else. We are when our bodies fail us, we are at our weakest moment. We are not we're not superhuman. None of us are. And we should know that sometimes we got to think outside the box and outside of our own needs, which is important. And then that goes for all of us. I mean, we all often fail in this avenue and area, but there comes great reward for caring for others. It really is. There's a satisfaction. It's like a secret satisfaction that you get. You don't have to tell a soul what you do. And I know Candy did something like that for me this week, whether she wants to admit it or not. But there's a gratification knowing that when you can complete someone or just make their day a little brighter or bring just a little joy or just bring a freaking cheeseburger so they can eat and not have to crawl to the kitchen, which her and I both had to do. Just to say, I know that this is probably difficult for you right now. Your body is not feeling good. You're weak. You're skinny. And you lost so much weight. And by the way, don't say that to people. That's the same as calling them fat. Her and I both lost a lot of weight throughout this process. We both feel very puny. We know we look skeletal. It's not nice to tell people that. We have feelings the same. It's the same. Well, you're so fat. You should really go on a diet. when you tell someone they're so skinny, they eat a cheeseburger, and that's where that also came from, because I can't, like, how many people have told me eat a cheeseburger, no pun intended, but it's rude. It is like, just understand that when people are battling, whether they're thin or overweight, so to some level, they're battling something because their body is sick and weak in an area, and it's not something that can always be helped. So don't be rude. Rule number one. Be thoughtful. Number two, and if you can, if you know, you got to feed your own families. Stop by and bring Candy some food too, because she deserves good things. And we were both just talking about how hard it was to crawl to the kitchen and try to figure it out, and it was hard. And yes, I have a daughter who is capable, but I mean, it's her senior year. We're at graduation time, and she's testing, SATs, everything with college, so much going on. Then her mom goes into the hospital in 5 days, and then get out, and then it's like, okay, you're home now, bam, go back to work, straight back to work. And are you hungry? Good luck with that. You have no groceries in the house. You know, Candy, you know, it is hard. So just, I guess what we're trying to say is just be kind and courteous, and sometimes understand that we have feelings, and we have the same problems that you're having, and we have good listening ears. We want to listen, but sometimes you should listen as well and understand that we have very valid whines too. You know, we're human. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all are worthy and deserving. And I'm just praying and hoping that you guys know that this comes from the best places of my heart when I'm asking, bring her a cheeseburger. You know, just know that people are thinking constantly about you. And if you know this, just try to reverse that. And a phone call, even, right? And I know that there's been so many good people that make phone calls, and Candy, thank you. Kristen, thank you. Sheila, thank you. You guys called me, said, "Are you feeling better?" Mr. Avatar, thank you. There were a lot of you that, you know, were kind enough to call, and some that went right back into their own spills about how they're doing. And Candy, you could probably relate to that. But I just wanted to bring that up tonight.
I didn't even get any phone calls from any of my local friends asking me how you doing, knowing I was walking around with a fractured spine for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
You know, or
exactly.
even my kids, and I'm like, you know, I'm telling them my back is killing me. It's like, oh well, you know, Mom, hey, how you feeling? Nope, not. You know, my own neighbors that live.
I think they think we're so strong that, you know, superhuman, but we're
Like,
not always. We have needs like everyone else. And I mean, I don't have a friend in the world here in Texas, you know, and my whole family lives here, but I didn't see him stop.
and
But I
then,
did have, my
like you
sister
said,
did come and stay a day with me at the hospital, which was super kind, and I was so
you don't
shocked.
you don't call, you don't text me to ask me how I'm doing or how I'm feeling, and then all of a sudden you're telling me, oh well, you've lost so much weight. What is wrong
You're
with
so
you?
skinny. Why don't you eat a cheeseburger?
You kidding me?
Rude.
God.
Yeah. It's like, well, you're so fat. Why don't you go on a diet? Nobody wants to hear that nonsense, guys. I mean, I know that you guys think it might be okay to say that, but it's not. It, like, that is a true struggle and battle that we battle daily with the weight. We have the same, you know, self-imaging problems that go through our head, and thinking like, oh, this is gross. I mean,
Yeah,
by
and
the
then
way, they don't make pants long enough to fit someone our height or my height that's thin. They think that if you're going to be, you know, that big around, then you're going to have to be that tall. So walking around in high waters isn't always cool either. So, you know, one more worry. I mean,
yeah. And
we all have that worry.
I was already little anyway, and then I got sick and I lost 20 damn pounds.
Yeah,
You know, I'm like,
that's how my whole, I've always been a small person, but we can't afford to lose weight. And see, we already know this, guys. So don't say, eat a cheeseburger. Oh man, you're skinny. That is not a compliment. It is not helpful. You want us to eat a cheeseburger? Don't say that. Just bring a damn cheeseburger. Just bring the burger. We'll eat it. I mean, it's that simple. And then you're in paradise. Hence, cheeseburgers in paradise. So that is my rant tonight. I think we're all entitled to rants. Very, very few times do we get to do that. Usually I feel like we have listening ears on. And I mean, that is number one thing I live for, is trying to help everyone and listen to their problems, because sometimes we just need to be heard and validated just by being heard. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, well, why don't you go tell that person that hurt your feelings? Sometimes, guys, that is not the best advice you can give. Sometimes, just when someone's telling you something because of how they're feeling, you may not be the person that did anything to them, but I mean, just because they're hurt, it's not really gossiping. It's just like, look, this is how I'm feeling. Don't say, well, go tell that person. I don't really want to be bothered with it. Say, I'm sorry you're feeling that way. Yes, that's a valid point. We just sometimes, all of us, we need to be heard. Morgellons is huge. We're never heard in that avenue at all. But I mean, we're still human, and it goes back to every little single layer of being human, every level of being human. It's important.
Hey, can you hear this? Listen.
I don't hear it, but I'm scared to even imagine.
Grinding.
Yeah, no, I that, like, when my daughter pops her fingers or anything, I literally get the chills and I cringe every time. I can't.
Shoulders and my arm sockets.
Just popping alone, anything popping gives me the creeps. My knees pop every time I stand, but you probably are stiff as a board and probably like going to be popping for a while with what you've been through. You've been through an awful lot, and I am sorry. And I would have brought you a cheeseburger, I promise. I would have actually made homemade cheeseburgers last night. I know it was like, oh, it's just a patty. No, I make the good ones. Like, you get all the stuff in it, the good ingredients, the minced garlic.
It's been like 3 months now, and one friend came to see me and spent time with me the other day and brought me food and sat and talked. And I'm like, I
don't have any friends here that I didn't get you one.
Locals, like I said, that would call me, and it's like, oh, my sister's got this problem, or my brother's got that problem, or my friend's got this problem. I'm like, okay, well, I got the stuff. I'll bring it to you. I've run it to them. I can't even tell you the thousands of times.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a single mom. I work a job, 2 jobs, constant, continuous. I put in literally 50, 60 hours a week. And then I run back and I've got a daughter that's graduating and she's got all this activity going on. And I just got out of the hospital and I am running, going, doing. And I still, if there's someone on the side of the road, that's broken down, I will still be the first to stop and help them, give them a lift. Or if I've got, anything in my car, a measure that can assist, I do that, knowing I'll be late for work. But here's what I'm learning in life. What goes around comes around. And sometimes things can wait. I know there's an urgency to make money. Trust me, I know. I've been in the hospital, and those days not working have bit me in the butt so much, you have no idea. And then I finally got my paycheck in on the 15th. I deposited it, and now the bank's like, oh, that check wasn't readable, so now they've got a hold on it till the 25th. I'm like, that's my money. That's my check, my money. I worked my ass off for. I have bills due. I need to put gas in my car. And they've got a hold on it. And it's frustrating because it seems like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And no matter how hard you try, somebody just keeps kicking the dog and making sure that it stays down. But again, when I see someone on the side of the road or whatever, and knowing these things, I got to get to work. Sometimes the urgency isn't so much there because God has a way of working things out, and He gives you angels like Candy that do things that.
I have to interrupt you to tell you this story. So, somebody that sent you some money.
That's what I was just getting right to. He gives you angels like candy, but I didn't get to finish.
Somebody that sent you some money got their income tax return, which was $2,120. So she had a bill to pay that was $2,000. She had $120 left. She sent you.
Now I'm really gonna feel bad. I'm feeling worse now.
She sent you $100. Then she took the $20 and she bet it on some horses and won like $500.
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
see, this is how
I mean,
things work.
I like literally like that's what I was saying. Like, you know,
She messaged me. She's like, God
I
works in
just my
mysterious
heart is
ways.
overwhelmed. Nobody had ever. I know Candy has coordinated this somehow. Because I received two envelopes in the mail, both addressed to me from me to me, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, one handwriting looks familiar. I'm not really sure. The second one that came in a beautiful turquoise envelope. I mean, I'm just sitting there crying with tears. Nobody ever in my life has done something like that for me. And I
And we
know
shouldn't,
Candy's the coordinator.
and the point is, it's like I was saying about the food.
The blessings.
We should not have to ask
Yeah.
when you're in trouble, when you're in trouble, you shouldn't have to ask or beg people to bring you a freaking cheeseburger or come and see you.
It's like, you got to make dinner for your family anyway. And honestly, I mean,
And
I'm
you drive
not
like,
mad that
hey,
that didn't happen for me, but I'm mad because Candy's good and gracious and loving and kind, and she puts thought and care into everything she does, and she deserved the dang cheeseburger in paradise.
it's not like I'm going to call somebody and say, can you please bring me a cheeseburger?
I
Or
mean, we're hungry. When you think we're skinny,
please
don't say we're
come
skinny.
see
Just
me?
feed us.
Will you please come visit with me? You know, I'm so sad. I'm sick and I'm tired. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. No, that is not how I roll. But you
Right.
know what? I really appreciated that visit I got the other day and the food that my friend brought me. And I'm like, but she's the only one that's done it. And like I said, it's been 3 months.
I mean, I'm glad that she stopped. I wish more would have. I wish I was there. I'd have crawled over there. We could have just been sicklies together, except for I didn't get to
And,
stay in bed.
hey,
I went
but
straight to
you
work.
know
But
what was funny is like I said, when I found out you had left the hospital, I told George right then and there. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to Texas. And it was like, then a couple hours
that
later,
was
it was
also that moved my
like,
heart.
but I was ready to figure out how I was going to get there. If I was driving or flying, I didn't know, but I was like, I was
I'm
going.
going. You were too, and I was like I just literally had walked through the door, got home from the hospital, got dropped off, coming in
And,
with my little bag. I sat on the couch and there's Candy, and I'm just like, she's like, I'm coming to see you. I'm just like, what?
and then
Like,
2 hours later, guys are like, nope, you're not.
though, the whole thing and thought that you weren't coming to see me, just little. I'm nobody. I'm nothing. And you were gonna take time and funding out of your bank account, your time to come see me. Like, you have
I
no
was I
idea
was
how moved I
physically I
was.
was more worried about, okay, am I going to be able to drive by myself? How am I going to do this physically? I don't know. And I
Yeah,
told Lisa, I was like, you know what? I said I could cook for you, but I won't be able to clean afterwards because I'm going to need a nap. I was like,
right.
between the two
I
of us,
still need
between
when I'm
my
so
back and you
tired.
being sick, I was like, we'll figure it out together. And I'm like, but then my back popped again, and I was like, screw it again.
Hey, Britt said, Lisa, did the hospital say why you had the infection? No, actually, they didn't. I don't know where the sepsis came from. Either the sepsis came from pneumonia or the pneumonia came from the
The
sepsis.
biofilm,
I want to say
the
biofilm, but I mean,
biofilm.
I'm not going to lie, I was close to death. I felt like I knew my body was shutting down. Like it was on, like, the doctor not called me at 4 a.m., woke my butt up by calling like 3 times to finally wake me up and say, get you a bag, get to the ER right now. They're waiting on you. I don't
I
know that
don't
I would
think
have
they
got up the
know.
next morning.
I don't think they know what you told me, but actually before that, she actually had the biofilm coming out into the toilet, okay? Really bad.
Oh, nothing but that. Nothing
Yeah.
but that. Um, yeah, nothing but that. I mean, everything was, my whole body had shut down. It was my nothing was functioning at all. I mean, the doctor's office, they drew blood the day before they put in my blood work, and
One
then they got me
second.
sent to the hospital. They said they had never seen blood that color in their whole life, and it gelled over, of course, the whole Morgellons gel blood. But the color of it was just completely off. It was like rust and green, and they're just trying to draw, the blood. It was just not happening at first. It took an act of God to even just get a needle in it. And then when we go with IVs, they're like in between every finger. And I am vascular. I'm a vascular girl. But the veins stick up. But when the blood's gelled and clotted in there, and speaking of clots, what we know that the coroners have been pulling out of people these days, those that have passed by certain things that they've encountered and come across with the royal crown on their head. Just gonna like code word this, but we know that those that died and it was suddenly, okay, any sudden per se deaths, and you guys are reading between the lines here, I hope. These coroners pulling clots out, in my opinion, are much what these doctors were or nurses having issues why the blood was discolored, and my veins were very vascular, but there was nothing coming out. I believe they were solid masses, and I think we're all dealing with that, and I don't think it's anything new. I just think that crown thing brought it to the surface for a lot more, than we realized, but I think that's very real.
Never had that. I've never had that, but 3 different times when I went to go do blood work.
I never had it either. I just think it's from nano in the air.
No blood would come out into the syringe, that they had in me. It's
that's like what they were complaining. They're like, that won't come out. And they finally got in between like that finger and here. I had 3 different IVs, and it just like drops, like little drops trying to take the blood. And then even with the IV, that the fluids they're trying to put in me, it just kept trying to push it back out. So there's something very strange that when your urine gel's over, if they say, go pee in a cup, let's test your urine, whatever, they're just running every test. If you pee in a cup and it turns immediately to like gelatin, and I know that sounds gross. Sorry, it's part of life. But when on God's green earth should that happen to anyone? And that's what's happening to us when your blood is discolored. And of course, sepsis, I get it, sepsis. It's contaminated blood, so maybe it could discolor, but gelatin-like blood that's not, Candy's dealt with it, I'm dealing with it, I think we're all dealing with it. But the worst part is, I also know, they're talking about the roller up your sleever and these people that have these, they call them clots. I don't necessarily think it's, I think Morgellons is part of that, is part of polio, is part of every single V word we've ever got since birth.
Yeah, remember?
They demanded we have, and Candy pointed out last week, her raised on her arm from the polio. Just out
I got a Morgellons lesion there. I got a Morgellons lesion there.
Right. So I think there's an activation. I think they're being activated by frequencies. To me, it's a no-brainer. Frequency is everything. Our body is just like the animals walking, or Candy, with that raising up and coming up to the surface and making it stand out against her skin, or our blood not coming out. I think something is activating this technology, being in the nano form, that is they say it's supposed to mesh with humans. I think it's supposed to mess with humans. It's messed with us bad. And I think that there's a frequency that's being emitted through all of the towers around us. And again, this is my opinion, and this is for entertainment purposes only. You guys know I have to throw that in, but I think that all these towers that went up around the same time as, that Crown Royal guy in the purple bag came around, people were dying from drinking it too much. You get my drift here. All of a sudden the towers are going up 5 OG and 5 OG there, and we'll hear a 5 OG and there 5 OG everywhere you looked. They're going up. They're in the schools while you guys are be social and be distant. Like, they're in your schools, like putting that stuff up as fast as they can. And all of a sudden, we're seeing animals going in circles. We're seeing our bodies acting strange and strange behavior around us by other humans. Again, we all know if you have Morgellons, you your family, your doctors, everyone treats you really strange. It's not normal human behavior. It's being controlled by those little bots inside the body and the frequency that serves as the controlling portion of that. My opinion. But what they're pulling out of people, that is genetically modified nano organisms, in my opinion. They come together, they cluster together, they can form and be whatever they want. They are in your sky, they're in your trees, they're in your grass, they're in your bati. They start with one little bitty thing, they come together and they form and simulate and imitate anything and everything. There is an intelligence that is artificial, in my opinion, to this. It has been designed like this. I think it got out of control. It was supposed to be a controlled situation, but artificial intelligence is just that. It is much faster learning than us. It's got it's never ending. There is no stopping the learning process when it comes to AI. We have limits. Our brains, our functions, everything is influenced by our body and each organ in our body. That how it works, whether we can achieve that ultimate, like you see people with IQs off the charts, you see people with lower IQs, all wonderful, beautiful humans with no serious injuries, but all thinking processes are different. When you put AI in the mix, there's no inhibitors because there's not a mom that raised them, a dad that raised them, or any of the genetic factors on either side of the family. There is just one thing. It's an artificial intelligence, and its growth is endless. Its growth is infinite, and its growth is running our world as we speak, in my opinion. And planes in the sky, I think they're clusters of nanobots, a lot of them. The ones that have the tailings behind that, everyone's like, K to the trails, and there are, I mean, it's been proven that there are regular airplanes, but I've also watched these things morph. I'm a plane right now, I'm a bird, I'm Batman. So all three of those within a few minutes, that thing morphing, and the same stuff coming out the tail end. I've seen the orbs come down. I've seen the lights come out of the orbs and beam. I've seen the crafts beam the orbs. I think they're all clusters of artificial intelligence, nanobots coming together, self-assembling into any variety of intelligent life, or what we would conceive as that, through our own cognitive response. They're aware of how we think, what we see, how our cognitive response works, and I believe that it's being manipulated through that. This alien invasion and abduction, and I know I'm all over the page. Just stay with me here. This is all one thing. The Morgellons, your Bigfoot. Bigfoot's always blurry too, right? Nobody's got a good capture of Bigfoot. You don't see any real good alien pictures or real clear UFO pictures, and if you do, it's probably us. But you just never really have a clear paranormal picture of any level. There's going to be a blur or a streak or just a kind of a see-through, or it's never like the man at the end of the bed, Hat Man, or the Shadow Man, or the Men in Black, whatever it may be. The picture's never actually perfectly clear. And if they are, I don't really have an explanation for that other than they're probably human or not of this world, because there are fallen angels. That's plain and simple. So fallen angels means not from here, which means aliens. So however your brain wants to, conceive that and form it, there you go. We're still singing the same song. But these mesh things like Bigfoot and aliens and UFOs, they're clusters of nanotechnology, I'm telling you. They are an artificial design that can morph in front of your face. They can do whatever they want. They're faster than the speed of light. That's why you can see them zoom off and zoom in, and a helicopter turn into a bird, and sheep walk in circles. It's all frequency related, running the operation. So you guys saw The Wizard of Oz, and how it was kind of a bummer at the end. You saw this little short guy back there. There's a big mean voice of the wizard. It's just it's all smoke and lights, guys. It's
Was it the little tiny dog is the one that exposed him?
Sure was. That's why I'd like to be a Chihuahua when I grow up. I'm just kidding. So what was Odie or Odie? What was his-
Toto.
Toto, yeah. Odie, Toto. Odie
Toto
was
grabbed the curtain
Garfield's.
and pulled it back.
Toto was like a, what do you call it? A Springer, not a Springer, a Terrier, something like that. I don't know. All I know is our bark's bigger than our bite for some, and some of us, our bite's bigger than our bark. And I could bite a cheeseburger anytime you guys want to bring one by. So I'm gonna leave it there because this could go many places. I just
Hey,
know that I'm coordinating
and
so many
I
thoughts.
just want to say, I don't need a cheeseburger right now. I needed one like a month or two ago. Okay.
Yesterday, 2
Yeah.
days ago, last week. Now would be good. Actually, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten today. Well, I did eat breakfast. I did. I had oatmeal, but I have been working. So I am gonna go get a cheeseburger. I think, even though the fast food ones are yuck. So I had one last night though, but
Well, we actually went out to eat tonight for the first time in a really long time. And he got off of work early and he has bowling. So it's like, hey, how about we take two vehicles and go out to eat and then you can go bowling and I'll come home.
there you
And
go.
so, yeah, I had tuna salad on spinach and lettuce and cantaloupe and strawberries. And I'm like, it was really good.
That sounds good. That made me hungrier. I want a chicken fried steak with like white gravy and
Well,
oh
I
my
had
gosh, some fried
steak,
okra
I
and dinner
treated
roll with
myself
lots
to
of
steak
butter.
and eggs and fried red potatoes yesterday for breakfast at the restaurant. So that's
Yum.
what I'm having to eat
Yeah, I'm
out.
definitely hungry. I need to find a truck stop, not a fast food restaurant.
I'm
Truck stops
having
not
to
the
eat out a
fast
lot.
food. Truck stop restaurants.
Which that costs money, but I mean, physically, I can't always go in there and cook, so I have to go get me something somewhere, which I don't do fast food, so
Yep,
it's like
I
enough
can't
food.
stand it.
Yeah, I actually took a picture the other day of my steak and eggs and fried red potatoes. I'm like, damn
Yeah.
the
Oh my
cheeseburger!
gosh, Candy, you're
Yeah,
killing me. That sounds
I was
so
like, damn
good.
the cheeseburger! Give me a sirloin, okay?
Give me a steak. Yum. Any day of the week. I will take a steak over any dessert
Yeah.
any day of the week. I love me a good cow. Just love cows. They're cute too, but yeah, I love steak. And I know the vegetarians out there, and I respect you. I do. You have way more willpower than me. I like a good carrot and some lettuce sometimes, but it's just not as satisfying as a big juicy steak. So, man, I need a steak. I need a big dinner roll too with lots of butter. That sounds good.
God.
Yeah. So this just went a whole different direction. If you guys didn't notice that, but
Like I said, where's the beef?
where is the beef? I'm gonna go find me some. We'll go get some of that. So yeah, there's a few in my field over where I'm building. My house is almost done. So this much closer, probably another month, I will be in the house on the land where there's lots of activity still. Speaking of activity, had an orb come down just 2 nights ago here. Biggest day. I mean, just right in my face and bleep out in the blink of an eye. And then this flashing light come along and then would just stop flashing and then flash a little bit more and then stop. And then I'll also just shut off. So I'm going to be posting those sometime. Been working so much I haven't had a chance the last couple of days since that happened. But and also today, another weird thing, this little blue fur ball just plops out and you can see all the nanoparticulates running out of it and all the static it creates, and this thing is just flopping around like a fish out of water. I mean, it's moving, like violently moving. So I'll be posting that as well to show how very real not only Morgellons is, but how very real a payload with nanotechnology, the delivery mechanism is as well, and how the fibers and the electric charge and the senses, electromagnetic fields that work around with it. I mean, it's all there. It's not really rocket science. It's just really hard science to rocket. So, but you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. And fallen angels, they are real, and they're among us.
Well, I
So,
was telling Lisa before we got on tonight, I've had so much negativity, and when we do these podcasts, we try really hard to be positive, guys, but I'm telling you, I am just like, no, I got nothing positive tonight, okay? I am so tired of trying
it's
to do right
exhausting
by people,
sometimes.
you know? Yeah, it's I try to do right by people, try to treat people the best I can, and I'm like, my God, where is my damn cheeseburger? Okay, I needed a cheeseburger. I didn't have
Just
to
didn't want much. I just want a
yeah,
burger.
for a conversation or a phone call. I'm
I
like,
mean, just
oh
hey, how you
God,
doing? Just even
yeah,
that would have been great, right?
yeah,
Like, honestly, you're the I like I said, I had you and a couple others, call like they're, like I said, so we're like just hey, and then right into their own world and what was going on, which is okay. I got good listening ears, but sometimes my body's weak too, and I'm just like, I can't hear this right now. I'm just trying to like, if you want to ask how I am, that's great, but I can't deal with both right now because we are human, and Candy she's a little bitty thing, but she is powerful and filled with like so
yeah.
much spunk,
Like I
but
said, I
she
get
wears
tired.
too.
I get tired, and the last thing I'm ever gonna do is hurt anybody. And when somebody tries to make it look like that I've done something to hurt them because I don't have my energy to give to
It's
you,
not fair. It's not
I
fair.
I'm telling you, look, I am in pain.
This
I
is
am
me with my
suffering.
body worn down.
But
Respect
I
that.
and then it's like, oh well, I'm sorry you're hurting, but this is what I got going on. Do you
Yeah.
not get that? I'm like,
Guys, yeah, just be
man,
respectful and aware that we're all suffering to some level or another. And some, like Candy's been to the extreme. Like this girl's been to hell and back for years. And just because she shows great strength doesn't mean that her body doesn't wear on her eventually. Our bodies are what and how we function and get around. So when she's weak, she's went through a lot and her body is breaking down. Don't
and
dump
when I
more on
say
her. Just
that,
try to be supportive of that moment for her.
when I actually give in enough to say that to you,
Yeah,
it's because I've reached my limit. Don't
that
push
that
those
shouldn't
limits,
happen.
okay? Just
And
don't do it.
I mean, just understand we are just as human as anyone else. And Candy, you definitely deserve, you know, so many medals of honor. And I just want you to know that
I
I
told
love
you,
you. If I was
I'm
there, I'll bring you
never,
a
I'm
cheeseburger
never.
and we could just lay in bed, watch TV all day, and I just quit my job and George could support us. Just kidding. I know. It's a dream. A girl can dream. Yeah, I've had
Oh,
nightmares
oh my
lately
gosh.
though.
Well, I mean, I've got kids, I've got grandkids. They have problems. I have friends that maybe the other people don't know that they have problems, and some with Morgellons, some without Morgellons. And
All
like I
sorts
told
of
Lisa,
different
I was like,
things.
I've had so many people call me and tell me, "Oh, I'm so sick. This is what I've got going on. Okay, what's going on? Okay, I'll bring you this. I'll bring you that." I drop everything. If I have to, I go in there and make it. Okay, I'd make it, take it to them. I'm like,
Yeah, like literally, stranger or not. I mean, I know how hard it is when you don't feel good to have to do for yourself because I've always just done for myself. That's why I think we go help others and why we do because we know how it feels. Number one, to not have it, but number two, sometimes it's just in people's nature, and
yeah,
other
but
times it's not. But it's not like you can't make it in your nature. It's just we
just
all should be
guys,
more aware.
if you know that somebody has just got out of the hospital or they're in pain or they're suffering or whatever, don't ask them. I can't stand this. It's like, well, just let me know if you need anything.
Yeah,
No,
that's just
I'm
a
not
lazy
going
way
to let
out of.
you know.
Yeah, that's what a pet peeve of
Just
mine
do
too.
it.
So just
Just
don't say
do it.
anything, because either you are or you aren't. Like, but just don't tease me and make me have
Mm,
to feel obligated to ask you. Okay, so I need something. Nobody want when you're feeling bad. You don't want to have to ask.
right.
You're just trying to heal.
Just do it
Just do
already.
it. Just do something nice. And you're rewarded too in the end because, like Candy said, the Lord has always rewarded me when I've given my last dime, when I've given my last hour, and I'm just like, let go and let God. Don't. I always say people first, and that is the truth. Within my capabilities, but there are some things we can't control. We have to do what we got to do. But if it's within any bit of your control, you can stop and help a perfect stranger. There is a great reward in heart, a heart reward that comes from that alone. But it's amazing how like I'm sitting here stressing, like, how am I going to get by? What am I going to do after, that happened? Or I just gave that person like my last $5, back in the day. And something, I would land in another, side job, or, something would always happen. And the Lord has this amazing way of not making us go without, but not, we don't have to have more than we need. So people, if you're out there praying for money and riches and you're watching like Joel Epstein or any of these, like, gurus on TV that live in mansions and have several jets and nice cars, and praying for money and hitting you in the head with palms, and bam, you're healed, you got money. That's not the faith you are needing to have. And the money will never, ever, ever buy your happiness. Yes, you might be a little more comfortable here on earth. What's that going to matter if you can't take any of that baggage with you? And this is just a mere blink of the eye when we have an eternal life ahead. So he gives us enough. He gives us what we need. And if we don't get what we thought we needed, or we don't make that bill, or we can't pay our rent, there is a reason and a lesson to be learned, or a story to tell, or something that you can dig deep within and grasp out of that. And like I told Candy, just having more gallons alone has brought a more compassionate person out of me, a more loving and understanding person out of me, a more like, oh my goodness, what must they be feeling? And that's what it does. And you see through new eyes, and everything in life will make you see through new eyes if you just, seize the moment and live in it and bask in it, and don't let it pass you by, no matter what it is. Just do something loving and kind things will come back to you in one way or the other.
And you know what? It doesn't cost anything to pick some wildflowers on the side of the road, and
Oh yeah, that's the best.
Drop them
when my
on
girls were little and they'd do that. I wish they still would.
No, I'm just saying, it doesn't cost anything to do that. If you know somebody's sick, just
That's
do it.
amazing. Yeah, that's an amazing thing to do. And Candy's like, I'm going to look for the mullen, actually. But you're right. That's an amazing beauty. And wildflowers are gorgeous. My girls used to pick them for me, and those would be my favorite things to put on my table. I mean, like, literally. So I did get these for Mother's Day. My daughters got me those. Gorgeous, gorgeous. But flowers die like that. I can't imagine like growing. I mean, it's nice of them, but I would rather wildflowers, because
that's what I like about
real,
Oh, you know what? I could tell you guys something really easy and cheap to make. You buy the cheap vases from the thrift store. Used to be able to get them like 25 cents a piece. I think they're like $1 or $2 now. But anyway, you just put like an old mop handle or something down in the ground, turn the vase upside down, spray paint it whatever color you want. Pick some dried flowers out of the woods, spray paint them the same color, get some silk flowers, put some sand in that vase, and put the silk flowers and the dried flowers in there.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And it's cheap.
And a ribbon, just get a ribbon. Yeah. That or get
the
candle holders, the candlestick holders and the plates.
Well, the sand holds it in place. If you put sand or dirt in it, put the flowers in there, and it holds the flowers in place. And they're so beautiful.
Yes, she's right, guys. I bought that colorful sand that the dollar store also sells. And I layered that sand one time, like rainbow with different colors, and shoved the flowers in a clear vase. It turned out so pretty. I didn't think about spraying the flowers, though. That's amazing. Good idea. I'm going to have to try that one next for sure. Okay, so Rapido Jimbo asked, I wanted to ask you guys a question about the Morgellons. Has either of you had a really super sore boil that you just can't get to break open, that's tough and super painful? Oh, let me tell you, yeah, I'm actually dealing with one right now, like that's kind of like in my, like way up right here, but I've had them on my neck, you name it. Those are horrible, and for years not wanting to break open.
I had one this big on my arm.
Right.
I yelled it myself, so.
Yeah, how long did you have? Because he's got a valid point there. Like, yes, those, and we call them boils. It's Morgellon. It's a lesion just waiting to happen. They're hard. They're tough. You can't break through them. Right. And how long did yours take you to get yours healed?
That one was there like 12 years, but I had surgery on it like 7 times before I actually started treating it myself.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with a couple, like, well, I have one on my neck right now that I don't know. You can see the swell. I wouldn't call it really a boil, but it just out of the blue. I think frequencies. It'll just puff up so big.
Here's the scar there.
Yeah, this girl could tell you all about that on multiple levels. more gaggins. Biofilm.
Yeah, and
So
my
yeah,
legs,
biofilm in the throat too.
my legs, you know, I could just tell him, Lisa can tell you, oh, my legs, they were just
So
absolutely
bad.
horrid, completely covered in lesions. They're all been clear for years. And I'm like, but I worked really hard on trying to like get rid of them. But I mean, I had lesions all the way down to my bone as big as golf balls. They were bad.
It was.
This
She's
is
had
the
one of the worst cases
only
I've ever
problem left
seen.
that I have is my face, but the rest of my body's been clear for years.
Yeah, you've come a long ways, and especially just the last couple of years, and this last year, like night and day. I mean, it's just amazing
Well,
how
my face
far
was
you've
looking
come.
pretty good till I started taking those muscle relaxers, and then it kind of
Yeah,
flared up
it's funny. I
again.
went in the hospital, started taking like the thyroid medicine, and my body just breaks out all over.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Here's your sign, folks.
right. And I
But
told
I'm
you,
still taking it.
like since I started taking the muscle relaxers too, I started having problems with my spleen, my lower stomach, and my face broke out, and my nose
Go
was
forever
bleeding.
blessed. Yeah, sorry, we got people still tuning in. Yeah, like it's amazing how, number one, how long you had it 20 years, but how long it took to get it under control, figure out what worked, what didn't, and how to change it up. And Candy's master at that.
Not
She's
yet. I still got
she's
this.
got I don't care what she says. She's got a lot of things figured out as far as what works and what doesn't. So whole other, and it's in our podcast, other podcast, but we'll probably have to do another one on that sometime soon. And also, Britt says, have you
You
guys
can,
seen the
you can,
fibers and the Q-tips?
you
Absolutely,
can
they're in everything cotton.
research your channel for Morgellan's home remedies.
There you go.
We
Yeah.
did all the
And we
backpack
do need to
stuff.
do another one because there's so many more remedies that
That's
Candy
when we
has
did all
and
the
you
backpack.
have.
When I had the backpack and we dumped all the stuff out, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that was a great one. And she had so many products that you get it at the Dollar General or like great products, like super great. Like who knew? You know, that
yeah,
had camphor in it or
yeah, it's called Morgellan's Home Remedies on Lisa's channel.
yeah. So go to Waking God's Child, put in Morgellons Home Remedies. That's a good place to start for sure. Um, hello, Forever Blessed. So everyone has Morgellons. And they're slowly finding out chemtrails and in the food. Yes, GMOs, Morgellons nanotech everywhere. Absolutely, everyone has it. There's no way they can't, which explains why doctors act so dumb and family members and friends act so mean. It affects them in many ways,
And your
or why
neighbors,
they just don't think to bring a cheeseburger. Dang it!
right? And your neighbors don't bring you a cheeseburger, okay?
Right? Like, yeah, we're all affected. We're all affected whether we realize it or not, and some of us are expelling it through our bodies out. What should not be there? Some of us are lucky enough to know our bodies are like saying no, kick this out. Not supposed to be here. So.
All right, listen, I love you. My back's locking up. I got
Yeah,
a big day tomorrow.
mine's hurting, so I imagine yours is really hurting. So, all
Um,
right, guys, we love you. Just want you to know that we had our little fit rant. I did, but
our pity party, our pity
it
party.
came from the best places of our hearts, and sometimes we just need to get it off our chest. So, got it off my chest and out my mouth. So, love you guys. You guys have a very blessed weekend, and we will talk soon. Bye, Candy. Love you.
Good night. You too.
Good
Bye.
night, guys.